Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome to the Soul Brothers channel. And today we're going to be talking about the best materials in basketball shoes. And as far as importance of materials in a basketball shoe, in my opinion, it's not super important. But obviously that's just my opinion because there are other people, materials are very important, like you want a good quality material, you want it to be soft and all that. For me personally, as long as it's, number one, like pretty thin, very soft and supportive, it feels good on foot, then I'm okay with it. So that's why usually, I don't really mind the materials on PG3 or like, budget model shoes. But I do appreciate it when a company makes a very quality knit, soft, just super cozy and very comfortable, just to wear and put on. We're gonna be discussing that, so first we're gonna be discussing the best quality materials that, that are available right now. And then we're gonna go on to discuss the thinnest and like just the most minimal, materials, especially in the toe area. Because I found, the ankle area, the material doesn't really matter because that's not where your foot is moving a lot, so and usually they add just a foam padding underneath all that material in the ankle area, so I found that you don't really feel that material as much as in the forefoot. So I feel like the forefoot material, especially if it's thin, is a little bit more important. So yeah, let's get it started off with the LeBron 17 with the knit posit material, especially in the toe area. It's really thick, so it doesn't feel very minimal, but it's really soft. It feels like your grandma knitted the shoe for you or something. So very premium. It looks cool. In the ankle area, they do add that knit posit material. As far as the overall material goes, it looks cool. It feels premium. It feels very soft on foot. There's really no breaking time or anything. So yeah, LeBron 17. And also same thing goes with the Alpha Dunk, but I feel like the Alpha Dunk doesn't feel as premium to me in my opinion because I don't know if it's glued down, but it feels a little bit stiffer than the LeBron 17, especially in the toe area. The back, they use like really crappy like, leather materials or something. So it really doesn't matter in the ankle area, but in the toe area, I'd say it's premium, but not as nice feeling as the LeBron 17, especially on foot. Alright, next shoe is the Nike Zoom Rise. This is a little bit cheaper, substantially cheaper than the first two shoes that I mentioned. It's 140 bucks. But and also I wouldn't say it's as quality, but still feels a lot better than the PG3s or like a cheaper material. It's more like a mesh material, but or that's what Nike's saying. It kind of reminds me of like a textile, and it feels really nice on foot. It also is a little bit thicker, but it just feels and looks better than cheaper materials that companies are using on their budget models. Alright, next shoe is a CP3.12 by Jordan Brand, and I would say this shoe is the best. It feels the greatest on foot. They're saying it's just a textile material, but on foot, man, it's only 100 bucks, and it's like usually you don't notice, like I don't notice the materials. It's like, oh cool, it's a knit. But like when I put the CP3.12 on, I'm like, whoa, this is a very comfortable shoe, and like it's just a material that I really notice when I put it on. So even though like they do use some cheap leather, like I feel like it's a synthetic leather or something on the medial side, you don't really feel it. The knit's mostly in the toe, so CP3.12, incredible. Our next shoe is the Jordan Jumpman Diamond Mid. They're using a textile material basically throughout this entire shoe. It also is slightly thick, not as thick as the Alpha Dunk and the LeBron 17, but definitely not a minimal, like super minimal material, but it feels quality. It is a little stiff at first, but once you break it in, it feels great, soft, and comfortable on foot. Alright, moving on to the next shoe is the Anta KT5, Klay Thompson's signature shoe. They're calling it the A-Web Upper. It's basically a knit material. It reminds me a lot of the KT3, and it's pretty thick, really hot, but it's just a nice knit material. And same thing goes with the Harden Volume 4. The Harden Volume 4 is a little bit thinner than most of the materials here on this list, so that feels a little bit better, but it's basically like a prime knit material, but they are using different materials for different colorways, so watch out for that. But the gray colorway that I did get was very soft and felt like really premium in quality as well. Alright, moving on to the next list, we're going over minimal shoes. For me personally, I think I would like these materials a little bit better than, like LeBron 17 still feels incredible, it feels great, but I like a minimal material, and that's just my opinion. So let's start off with the Curry 6 super minimal upper. Also, it's a knit material, so it still feels really nice and gets really soft, but also it's supportive. And also in the tongue area, they do have that little stretch, which feels great, and it's also really easy to slide on. Next shoe is a Jordan 34. As far as the quality of the materials go, it's not great, but you know, the material is really thin and it feels very minimal on foot, and also like it, you know, conforms to your foot really well. It's not stiff or anything. So I really like the Jordan 34 materials, and same goes for the Zoom Freak 1. The Zoom Freak 1, and I guess also the PG3 and like the Kai Reload 2, they all have like not the best materials. You know, you can definitely tell it is a budget material, but once you break it in, and you know, like, cause like really, especially at first, it feels really flimsy. You know, but you know, once you break it in, it gets a lot softer, and then conforms to your foot really well. And when you're playing in it, I just like the minimal feeling of the materials on those shoes. Alright, and the next two shoes are the KD12 and the Flytrap 2, and the same thing goes for those shoes. The KD12 is actually really minimal. They use a screen mesh, and then of course they have the quad axial flywire, and then an underlaying material under all that. But really minimal, very supportive as well, but like it you know, conforms to your foot really well. And same thing goes for the Flytrap 2. But I'd say the Flytrap 2 is a little bit more quality than the PG3, you know, and the Zoom Freak 1, because it's more of like a textile material, and it's only going for like $60 right now on Nike.com. And you know, it's also like a lot cheaper than the PG3 and the Zoom Freak 1. So I'd say this next shoe is probably one of the most minimal feeling materials, but also like very comfortable on foot, and that's the Kobe AD NXT Fast Fit. And it's just there's just something about this material that it just feels super soft, but like also it feels so minimal and very, very thin, you know, and like I really like that. The ankle really doesn't help, and also I had a problem with the Achilles, but other than that, the materials in the toe area are very, very nice. So yeah, that's my list for best quality materials, and also like the most minimal feeling materials on a basketball shoe that you can get right now. If you guys want to get any of these shoes, I'll try to leave a link in the description box. Also, shout out to Jay Lopez for suggesting this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.